What am I? Who am I? Gerry Farrell is my name. I'm a carpenter and joiner by trade, and I've run joinery shops for the last 40 years. I'm also involved in mental health, very much so with an organisation called GROW, which is a peer support group. It's probably the longest and most established peer support group in Ireland. It's been here for 50 years. This place up here in Tibradden, we were lucky to get this about 12, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And I wanted to go back to old style, just small little workshop, 3 or 4 people working up here doing off-standard joinery, which we always did. And that developed, and then the space that we have up here, which is about 7 acres or so, and the old coach house that we're in now, leaned itself towards that old style, joinery, but also towards a bit of creativity, not just joinery, but other stuff. When people get together and you break down a few of the barriers, and the concentration might be, people might have the concentration of a scallion, but once people get a sense of that it's okay to be here, a sense of belonging, it's like a grow meeting. Once people after a few weeks know this is a safe place, they have a sense of belonging, it's amazing what happens then. If you can see the person as the whole person, it's amazing what happens then. I'm talking about mental health now. Peer support is about me helping you and you helping me. Integration, and we talk about that within, ethnic communities. Integration is also the same. It's not about me accepting the travelling community into my community. It's about them accepting me into their community as well. It works both ways. And unless you get full integration, you're not going to get that essence of that we're all in this together. The wagons, we had a project there recently where the travellers built this wagon, the old travellers wagon, beautiful job. And we had a great day out there when that was launched. But it was a good bit of crack over the 3 months, 4 months they were building it. We had a good few laughs. But so what we decided to do was, Dominic and Rebecca decided to maybe try build a sauna and a cold plunge pool up at the top field. And we said we'll turn one of the wagons, an old wagon, into a sauna. So we're in the middle of doing it there now at the moment. Well, it should be finished next week or two. And then up at the top field, we're going to have the shower, a cold shower, which will be in a tree. That'll come out of the tree, and with a kind of modesty panel around it, and a bit of a plunge pool, and then into the sauna, and a big crackling fire outside it. And then back down here and have a cup of tea and a sandwich, and it all sounds lovely. But it's community. These are all on their own. They're only things. But could you imagine a bit of crack with somebody doing that? You're having a sauna, or you're sitting around a campfire, or you're fixing this wagon up, or you're come up being creative doing something else, or you're making music with them. That's about community. That's about belonging. And I think if there's anything that you could underline this with, is that sense of belonging. People say, in mental health anyway, one of the first casualties of bad mental health is music. It's gone. You're not going to dance, you're not going to sing, you're not going to sit around a campfire, talk, all that. None of that's gone. It's empty, it's zero, it's dead. But also one of the first signs of recovery is music. I'm also involved in a ukulele group, which is a community group. We were making ukuleles there at one stage in the game, and we were talking about the simplicity of music. The simplicity of music is tapping your foot to a song, humming a song, or being part of a group playing music. It's not being on your own in a bedroom playing 3 chords and, I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough. You are good enough. We're all good enough. And once you're allowed to come into that community of music, then that can take it to a different level. It's like being unconditional. Recovery has to be unconditional. It can't be conditional, saying, well, you can recover if X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. When you're not well mentally, you can't even get to that starting point. So you have to be accepted unconditionally. And that acceptance gives you the strength that you haven't got yourself to take you to the next level. And that's so, so important. But if we start putting conditions on all this, people aren't even going to get on the starting block. An awful lot of traditional stuff, especially in some communities, is handed down verbally. So you're not going to get the full picture from the book. You'll get the full picture, a fuller picture from the person. So I've learned that myself over the last few months dealing with the wagon project. So the labyrinth, They say the difference between a labyrinth and a maze. A maze, you have to try and find your way out, and a labyrinth, you have to try and find your way in. You know, they were doing that hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And I think we need to tap back into that sense of not just that we belong to each other, we also belong to something bigger as well. Tradition has an awful lot to teach us. And tradition in ethnic communities has a big, big thing to teach us. And getting back to that integration thing, we need to know that we have something to learn from other people, whether it's people of the past or people who are in other cultures around us. We have something to learn from them. Not just we have to teach them. So that's what I think about tradition. Tradition has so many books that need to be opened. How poetic some of the words are. You talk about folklore, there was a thing that came up there in mental health recently that I was involved with, that when we talk about depression, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that. In the Irish language, in folklore, it's Tibradden Urim. There's a sadness on me. There's a sadness on me. I am not the sadness. There's a sadness on me. And that's great to know, that you are not the depressed person. You are not the thoughts. It is on me, but I will shake it off. Folklore is fantastic. We need to listen to the folklore and the tradition. Riding on the dashboard of my car, you can buy him phosphorescent, glows in the dark, he's iridescent. Take him with you when you're travelling far.